Let's go through question 3 now, and let's solve it in several videos so we can focus on one single concept per video. Otherwise, if it gets too much at the same time, the focus is lost. So in this video, let's have a look at the function and how can we actually deconstruct it, how can we write it, because you see it's a function with logarithms and absolute value, so there might be something a bit more tricky there. Remember, what is absolute value? So if we take absolute value of x, we can have just x as a positive value, or we can have minus x if x is a negative value. And let's give an example so that it makes sense. The absolute value of 5 is equal to 5. The absolute value always has to return a positive number. But then if we take the absolute value of minus 5, well, that's minus 5, which is equal to positive 5. So that's literally minus x minus 5. How can we use this logic over here that we have x minus 1 plus 1? Well, look, x minus 1 plus 1, that's going to be equal to x minus 1 plus 1 if x is greater than 1. And why is that the case? Because if x is greater than 1, then in the absolute value over here, we will have a positive number. And if we return a positive number out of the absolute value, we just keep it that way, just like we did here. Absolute value of 5 is 5. Absolute value of x minus 1, given that it is a positive number, is just x minus 1. So we'd have x minus 1, and then we add plus 1 just as it was. X minus 1 plus 1 is equal to x. So in the first case of our function, we would have that f of x is equal to ln of x if x is greater than 1. That's our first case. What happens in the second case? What if we have a negative value in the absolute value? So what if x minus 1 is negative? Well, that would be the case only if x is less than 1. Only if x is less than 1. So look, if we put here a value like 0.5, 0.5 minus 1 is minus 0.5. To take it out of the absolute value, we must get as a result positive 0.5. So we need to have minus 0.5 as a result, which means that we must have minus x minus 1. And then we just add 1 because that's outside of our absolute value. What is minus x minus 1? That's minus x, and then we change the sign over here into plus 1. And then we add the 1 from here. And that's equal to 2 minus x. So 2 minus x. Which means that we can write this function that we have the logarithm. Remember, this is all under the logarithm. So f of x equals to ln of 2 minus x if x is less than or equal to 1. So how can we sum up everything into one part? Let's zoom out and do it. We can write it as a piecewise function, that f of x, so let's actually write it as a piecewise function. From here, as a conclusion, we can say that f of x is equal to ln of x if x is greater than 1, and it's equal to ln of 2 minus x if x is less than or equal to 1. Let's leave it like that for this video. In the next video we go on.